Howdy folks, as you can see we've got the little Miniware TS100 soldering iron out here today. I've had this thing for almost a year now, and like every other RC hobbyist who's had one of these things, I just cannot say enough good about them. Just amazing little irons. Done everything from small SMD stuff right up to big 8-gauge wiring, and so portable, so powerful, super fast heat up times. And of course the primary reason for that is they use the cartridge style direct drive tip technology, tips, sensor and heating element built right into the tip, giving incredibly fast response and efficiency, and it's controlled by an STM32-bit processor with all kinds of neat little features. It even supports open source if you want to change things around. And of course the price is phenomenal. It comes with the base and one tip for around $60 US. Now, I have just received this. This is the SQ-001, which is supposed to be the upgraded version of the TS100. And I want to thank FlipSky for sending it to me so we can all have a look at it together. Now, I don't know what's really changed in this over that one. There's a few little cosmetic changes, but the specifications look pretty much identical. So let's get into this thing and see what it's all about. And yeah, we'll compare it to the TS100 and just see what's going on here. So first thing over the TS100 is the box isn't quite as nice. The packaging, this was the TS100 packaging, not really a big deal, but for the same price you get more goodies with this one. One, it comes with an XT60 adapter with the 5525 barrel connector. You have to buy that separate if you for the TS100s. So that comes standard, and it even comes with a little soldering stand, which the TS100 doesn't in their base package. I made up one out of carbon fiber, but this one comes with it. So a little bit better value, just with the accessories, and the same type of little 1.5 millimeter hex for the screws in here. We've got a product card, it looks like, shows you basically the heat up times and the wattage at various voltage inputs. Same as the TS100, works from 12 volts right up to 24. When I'm out in the field, I power mine with a 6S LiPo battery at storage state, which is perfectly fine. It's around 23 volts, so it works well. Inside, I'll usually use either a power supply or a laptop, an old laptop supply, which is around 20 volts. They're perfect for that kind of stuff. Let's have a look at this now and compare it to the TS100 visually. My TS100 is a different color, so it will be easy to differentiate between the two. They both use OLED displays, and the display window is a little bit different. This is an oval one on the SQ-001. The TS100 is this kind of rectangular shaped display window. The actual display itself, though, they're both the same. What's nice, I didn't realize this at first with the TS100, but this is actually glass. So it's not plastic that's easily scratched, and same with the SQ here. So they both have a glass display, so they don't scratch up easy. You've still got the grounding screw. If you want the tip grounded, you would hook this to earth ground for electrostatic protection on sensitive devices. Button shape's different. Your A and B on the SQ are round. The TS are oval, and you've got the little lock screw at the front. These, by the way, are 1.5 millimeter hexes. Comes with that little Allen key, of course. I never even use this on mine. I find just the contacts in the iron hold the tips quite secure, and there's really no need to lock it down. But that's individual preference. Yep, same exact shape. You have to take that screw out to take them apart. And as far as the back goes, there's our barrel connector, the 5525, so 5.5 millimeter OD with a 2.5 millimeter ID pin, and our micro USB inputs. Big confusion that some people have is, can you power it from the USB plug? No, you have to power it from 12 to 24 volt power source through these barrel connectors. This is just to change the parameters if you want to through the computer or update firmware. It's all open source. That's what makes them so cool. So really no apparent differences externally. Let's plug them in and see how they operate. So far, cosmetically, they're pretty much identical other than the button shape and the glass display shape. Let's power them up and see what the boot sequence is like and the menu. So I've got them both hooked up to my power supply. We'll switch them on together. And as we just saw, they both boot identically. They're both running the same version of firmware, 2.18. The only difference in the boot screen there was the logo, the boot logo. The TS100, of course, had the Miniware logo, and the SQ-001 had the Sequre logo. So what we're going to do is go through the setup or programming menus together, which is accessed through button B, and we'll see if the menus are identical as well. First screen up shows input voltage and tip temperature. Second is a factory reset. Third, work temperature, what it ramps up to when you first turn it on. Fourth is the standby temperature, what it will ramp down to if it doesn't detect movement within a certain time frame. Sleep time, what that time frame is before it ramps down the temperature. Idle time, the time after sleep time that the iron will turn off. Great safety feature. Temperature step, how many degree increments it steps per button push. Off voltage, your low voltage cutoff. Temperature, either Celsius or Fahrenheit. And right hand or left hand. Left hand will swap the image upside down so you can still read it right side up if you hold it in your left hand. Very cool. And we're back at the beginning. To get these little rascals open, you just remove the one screw at the bottom at the front. And then I find if you just get a knife or something really thin bladed, and just get into the side to pry it open a bit, and then get a flat bladed screwdriver in there, you can pop these off. So let's, they look pretty much identical, but let's look at them under the microscope.
Okay, I've got the TS100 on the top here and the SQ-001 below it. Start at the powering end. The barrel connector looks the same. Right beside that we've got a mode power MOSFET, HM4953A. Can't see the number because the upper processor board is covering it. As far as the chips, they're both STM32s. Part number F103T8U6. So that's the same. The other slight variation here is there's an unpopulated part here on the board, but there's a little chip right beside it to the left. The SQ's just got the ones chip, and we're missing a resistor that the 100's got that the SQ doesn't have here. So that this little upper processor board is slightly different, and the 100's got a part number on here, the SQ doesn't. As far as the lower board goes, it looks the same. Got the same component layout. This chip here is a RT7272B, and it's a DC-DC step-down converter rated at 3 amps. Those caps are a little different. Everything else looks the same, and here's our copper contacts that make electrical contact with the rings on our soldering tips. So those are the same. And then last up is the stainless steel ring insert that the tips slide into, and there is a threaded hole in there for those little screws if you want to snug down the tips.
So far we've determined it looks like a duck, it functions like a duck, it's got the same guts inside as a duck. Let's see if it flies like a duck. Got some big 8-gauge wire here, so we're going to tin it and solder it into this XT90 connector. So just like all these things do, you press the A button. It's telling you to do that to get it started, and the ramp up time, crazy fast. Boom, we're there already, up to 300. What was that, about 10 seconds? That's what is amazing with these things. But we're doing big wire, so we want to ramp it up even more. Ooh, going the wrong way, so let's go all the way up to 400, which is the maximum. We're a little spongy out here. That works. Pretty tiny though. You know, I'd much rather use brass shavings, but we've got the little stand. Okay, we'll zoom in, try to see the whole process. So first we're going to tin the end of this honkin' big wire. And yes, I'm rushing. Just make sure we've got it well saturated. Fill the cup up about halfway. As you can see, just the amount of heat these output is amazing. And now we'll just melt the wire into the cup. Get good heat transfer between the tip. I've got my chisel tip in, as you see. I'm not using that knife tip just because knife tip for these applications just don't work. And again, that's why I mentioned I wish they would ship with a chisel tip, which is a lot more universal. And there we go.
While on the topic of soldering tips, I thought I'd better go over which tips you can get for this neat little iron. If you're on FlipSky's product page for this SQ-001, they don't list any tips, at least not yet. So if you need more tips, you're going to have to get them elsewhere. This is actually my website page on the review I did of the TS100, which of course is directly applicable to the SQ-001 as well. And you can get the Miniware tips that will fit it. Miniware's got 7 different TS tips. They've got 2 conicals. They've got a couple of hoofs. The D24 chisel, that's what I find most universal for RC hobby work. And the SK-001, as we know, ships with the standard knife tip. And you can also get a smaller KU knife tip for it. And I do have links to all those different tips on this page, which I will link to below in the description, seeing that it's directly applicable to the SQ-001 as well. And if you're not familiar with how these little soldering irons work, you also might be interested in the review that I have done here. It goes into a lot more detail how they work, and I've got a couple of videos as well showing how the tips work, if you're unfamiliar with how these integrated tips work, and also the video review I did on the TS100.
Time to wrap this up. One thing I should mention, the wire that it comes with, it's 1 meter long, which is an improvement over the 1/2 meter wire that I had purchased for my TS100. Find that length is limiting at times. However, the wire you can get for the TS100, this TS100 wire that I've got is silicone jacketed. It's a high flex silicone insulated cable. It's really flexible, so really nice. This wire isn't as nice. It's not a high flex cable. It's quite stiff, and the biggest problem with it is it's not silicone. So if you accidentally touch your tip to it, it does melt the jacketing. And that may not seem like a big deal, but if you've been soldering for any length of time, you know eventually your tip is accidentally going to be resting on the wire, and yeah, you're gonna melt right through it. So that is a potential problem. Next point is subjective, of course, but I do wish they shipped standard with a chisel tip over the knife tip. But again, that is totally application dependent. I just feel that a chisel is more universal. And seeing that, you know, other than button shape and display, I really don't understand why this is marketed as an upgrade over the Miniware TS100. To me, they're identical. There's nothing wrong with it, but why does marketing feel they have to say something like that? Perhaps I've missed something in the review. You can comment below if I did, but to me that's just marketing noise. You know, these things are amazing for the hobbyist. For RC hobbyists, it's almost like they were made for us. You know, the powering range, you've got a really robust, easy to replace end plug on it, a 5525 barrel connector, and the safety features these have got. You know, they ramp down the temperature after a certain amount of time, and then they auto turn off. They've got an accelerometer built in to turn them back on, and of course the power and the versatility and the portability. You just can't beat these things. So whether you get the SQ-001 or a TS100, you're going to be happy if you're in the market for one of these things. The value of this one is a little bit better because it does come with the stand and the cord, but you know, get which way you like best and which you can find the best deal on. I want to thank FlipSky again for sending this to me to take a look at and show you guys. Comments below if you have any thoughts on this over the TS100, if you think these are a big improvement, or if there are improvements that I just did not find during this review. And I will have links again below in the description to it. Cheers folks, happy soldering.